Kudos to Stephan, Molyneux, and to Scott, the American anarchist, for sending me that article. That is the best exposition on the cause of the moral and social deterioration of our country that I have seen in a long time, and it puts perfectly into words my feelings on the subject surrounding, family planning and the family union in general, and of course that leads directly into the abortion debate. This video is going to be a little bit all over the place because I have all these different ideas on the subject just kind of bouncing around in my head randomly, but if we could start with that, if we could start with ending that welfare apparatus, I would almost just say the problem would be solved. And you'd still have a few, guys out there here and there that were performing these abortions. But I think that reduced the abortion load by 80%. But also you have to be a pragmatist. And I would say it's kind of like murder under communism, let's say. Just saying, we don't have these dispute resolution organizations. We don't have any of these stateless prisons. We have the communist state regime. That's all we have in place. And we got murder going on, but we're just not going to address it because we don't agree with the methods that we have in place to address it. It's nonsensical. That's this concept I want to talk about a little bit, is this concept of promoting solutions or promoting policies that lean towards the ultimate solution. And so if you take the premise that the embryo is a human life, you have to do your best under the system that we have to protect that life. You can't say because you disagree with a system that's in place that nothing should be done. We would all agree, I hope, that individual rights that begin mainly in your person and extend to property that you have legally acquired through the expenditure of your labor are a higher value than the value of a limited government system or a no government system. The limited government system or the no government system is the means by which we hope to accomplish the goal of having everybody, having their individual rights and property rights protected. That's only a means to an end. It's not the end itself. So if you have a flawed system, you still have to look at the ends. The ends are that we want life and we want personal liberty protected. And personal liberty starts with the protection of your own life. So yeah, the system we have is flawed, and I happen to agree that there is a legitimate function for a state. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. But our state mechanism is flawed. That doesn't mean we shouldn't work within the system that we have to promote policies that will protect life and liberty as much as possible. If you take it as fact, and as far as I can tell, you, Walter Block, and Stephan Molyneux do, that an embryo is a human life, then you have to do the best you can within the system to protect that life. Because it's not a system that we have values on. It's liberty and life that we place the value on. So in that case, I do think in this situation that would mean making it illegal to practice abortion. I do think that. But second of all, the other thing is that we have a disagreement over the existence of a state. I've read about the stateless prisons, about the dispute resolution organizations, and I need to read on it more. But as far as I can know, and as far as I can tell, based on the reading and research I have done, I see no difference between the DROs and the state. It's empowering somebody, you know, to be the enforcer of the law. And in that manner, I don't see how they would differ from the state, who resolves disputes between the DROs. You got the super DRO, and who resolves disputes between them? The super DRO? Okay, you don't have to go into all that. Maybe I just need to read more on it. But libertarians, as a definition, so far, you have to accept that we believe in the existence of a state. We're not anarchists. We're for very limited government. And I'm willing to consider the fact that perhaps every single state apparatus, every different type of configuration you might imagine, whether it's socialism or you know, a republic or democracy, I'm willing to consider that there may be no configuration that will not ultimately become tyrannical. But at this particular time, and regardless if I may change in the future, right now I'm a libertarian, and you have to accept that libertarians do see a legitimate role for a state. So, but we both hold the same values of reducing government. So you have to promote solutions that tend that way. I would accept a solution. Let's say the apparatus we have right now represents 100%. I would, if somebody right now proposed a set of legislative policies that would leave in place a level of regulation and interference that represented 20% of what we have right now, I would vote for it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Even though I would disagree with it philosophically. I don't demand that my utopia be installed right off the bat. I just want solutions. You can have a really, really good life under, you know, 20% of the state burden that we bear right now. We have a pretty good life with all this regulation that we have. You can have much better economic growth, much more freedom, much more liberty, much more satisfaction, much more higher quality of life and standard of living than we do now under a 20% regulation, or 20%, you know, of this same state burden that we bear right now. So you got to promote policies that tend towards your ultimate solution, because the ultimate solution is not going to come in one fell swoop. It's going to have to be a gradual process if we hope to accomplish it at all. So we have to start by protecting life. Start by protecting life. And everything Stephan Molyneux talked about after that, I agree. I agree 100%. Yes, that would reduce abortion by 80%. And if I never got state protection of life in the form of outlawing abortion, then I would consider it a victory if all that were put into place, because I believe it reduced abortion at least by 80%. But in the absence of that, yes, I want to protect life, even if that makes, you know, even if that means making abortion illegal, because ultimately we're all in agreement. agreement that what is going on right now